It's Matt with Bell of Lost Souls, here with Corvus Belli's new Ultimate Sports Show tactical combat game, Aristeia. We got a limited edition copy here, so we're going to show it off for you guys. Here's the front. Very cool. I like the art. And the back. There. 14 up ages, 2 players, 60 to 90 minutes. Looks interesting, so let's dive in. Oop. Alright. A vacuum seal, good. Season 1. Game doesn't end with the box. I don't know. Alright. Rules. We'll get to those in a minute. Oh, secret letter just to us. I don't know what that's about. Further proof that I am doing this blind. Access guide to the human sphere. This is probably, yeah, this looks like a bunch of lore. Going over all the different characters. Looks like it got some script that you can read through. Some pictures and art. Get to know all the different characters. Very neat. I like a game that goes through and has a background, and it takes place in the Infinity universe, so I'm sure there's already plenty to go off of. Very cool. Might touch back on that later. There you go. Access guide to the human sphere. Alright, first we got the game board. I don't know if this is all gonna fit on camera, but we're gonna try. So here, see if I can zoom out a little bit. So there you go, double-sided. Got our different objective markers, perhaps, and lockout spaces. Again, I don't know anything about this game. I think both sides are the same. You guys can pause and double check for me. But I'm seeing 3 and 1 with 4 on the other side. And then 3 and 1, 4 on the other side. So I think both sides are the same. Maybe not. What else we got? Got some game board, I guess, player mat of some sort. Keeping track of your cards and health, energy, actions, I don't know, movement. We got 2 of them, which makes sense because it is a 2-player game. So green, orange. My favorite part, punching out all the tokens. So we got 6 different types of tokens. Oh, no, a couple more. Movement, penalties, extra energy, poison, blindness, I don't know. Oh, other side. Your guess is as good as mine, and as soon as we go through the rules, we'll be able to figure out what all these components are for. Guessing these are probably health markers down here. So here I'll get both of them on there. Aristeia tokens down here. Perhaps objective markers. Dead. And then these are here. We'll zoom in a little bit so you can see. These are character tokens of some sort with a bunch of different letters. So there we go. Cool. Other side. More of the same. Okay. Stickers. Interesting. Haven't seen these symbols before. So I don't know what, yeah, zoom in a little on these. There we go. Oh, again, figure out what all this is. Ah, reference guide. Lovely. It's always nice to have a quick reference guide. So this is rules glossary. Yeah, explaining dazzled, not blinded. yeah, having just a you know, in-game keyword glossary is always very nice. Running order, yeah. So as thick as this little booklet is, it's 28 pages, whereas the actual rule book, where did I throw it? Here it is. The how to play, I mean, it's a lot bigger, but this is only 15 pages, so I wonder how much the reference guide versus the rule book, you know, how much each of them have, if they're just all the same information. But here's the important stuff. Here's the fun stuff. All the miniatures. Let's get these out of the bag carefully. Just came in this standard bag here. These are unpainted, obviously. I'm gonna do my best to show off everyone. Zoom in real close. There's a lot of detail on these. Very nice. Ooh. Very cool. Set that off to the side. There we go. Trying to make sure I don't clip off his head, the camera. Yeah, definitely a lot of nice detail work on these guys. I wonder how much I can zoom in, because the I don't know if that's gonna work, but the a lot of facial detail, which is very nice. Ooh. There you go. Big guy. Size comparison. Yeah, definitely a taller dude here. As I said, I don't know much about this universe, but a lot of interesting characters. The art and the models, the miniatures have all been very, very neat so far. I'm mainly going off the art because haven't taken a close look. Oh dang! Look at this massive shield. Yeah, there you go. Can really see a lot of the details here. That is very cool. Power armor. Yeah, I like that a lot. Max. Nice. So this is, as I understand, a 4x. Oh wow, I really like this one. A 4-on-4, you know, combat game. So we do have, we do have 8 different miniatures to go over, and I've heard that they are already talking about what their third team will be, because these are set teams. Gunslinger. Very cool. I wish I could be a gunslinger, just not cool enough. And I'm not a good enough shot, but I suppose with practice. Still, yeah, a lot of the details on these miniatures, like I know I'm harping on it, but they're really nice. I do not envy whoever has to go through and paint all these, because there's just so many little nooks and crannies to go over, which, for better or worse, is definitely the way they're designed. And last but not least, there we go. Just like this is crazy, the amount of detail on these miniatures. I have seen a lot of miniatures. The detail here is definitely, I am clearly blown away. Very cool. And that is it for the miniatures. So here we'll get a See if I can, is that gonna work? Yeah, no, just get them all standing up. So you can see everyone together. So size-wise, there's definitely a pretty big difference. You know, we got our two big buddies here, and then some of the some of the shorter ones. So there you go. There's our miniatures. And we also have scoot those guys out of the way. Cool. We also have a variety of cards. Push that out. So start with these turn order cards, perhaps. If I remember seeing something in the reference guide about turn order. Maybe, I don't know. I haven't flipped through the rules yet. But definitely can't be turn order. These numbers don't add up. I'm gonna try to level them off for you. Still very cool art. I don't know. So there you go. That's that. Scoop these up. Alright. Now we have action cards or ability cards of some sort. Open these up. Oop. Gotta get all of them. Come on. Ooh, sticky. There we go. Alright. So we have a variety of different cards. Add a blue die to roll for the dodge action. Add orange die for take aim. Yellow for focus. No. It's a good counter effect. Cancel the effects of opponent's tactics. So tactic cards, I suppose, is what these are. Just no. Fortune. Fortune favors the badass. Obviously, that's very true. Being a protagonist is absolutely a one of the best abilities you can have. Reroll one of your dice. Catch your breath. Draw 2 tactics. And stick to the plan. Search your deck for a tactic and put it in your hand, then shuffle. Each player draws 1. Very cool. Also, I don't know if you can really tell, but the this is a foil, which, as I said, because of our limited edition, we got 10 foil cards. So that'd be these, I suppose, because you can definitely see that shimmer on there. I mean, I don't know how much it's shown. Yeah, there you go. Dodge definitely shows real well. And then we got a couple more of these tactics cards. And you guys get to... Oh, no, there we go. I was worried I'd have to struggle to get this plastic off. But it's nice and easy. The little drawstring. Some more dodge, take aim, focus, no, fortune favors the badass. So these were the 10 cards that were in the foil that we have, I guess, additional of. And these are just more tactics cards. And then, because I saw on this side, yeah, so looks like everyone's got 1 character card. So, because I'm not going to go through every single tactics card, because there's a lot here. There's, we'll at least flip through real quick, so you guys get a sense of, and you know, if you want, you can pause and try to read them all, and you know, that is your prerogative. But I personally, I like jumping in blind for things like tactics cards or ability cards. any upgrade card, you know, where you just draw and then you know, just see how things go. I think for me it's more fun. I like being surprised. So here we go. Got our character cards. Finally, I get to figure out who everyone is. So we got 8-Ball. Don't know what any of the symbols are yet, but I'm assuming movement, energy, attack, and abilities. Eat my Fa Zhang. Displace the target. Be water dude. There you go. See if I can zoom in a little bit more. There you go. That's 8-Ball. Back. And Gata. Very cool. A little bit faster, more energy. Misdirection, free run, feline reflexes. Hexer. There you go. Reminds me of Hexadecimal from Reboot. Anyone else remember that show? There you go. Gotcha. And Vade Retro, maybe? I've already, off camera while I was getting ready for this, I'll tell you guys, I mispronounced Aristeia. I am very bad at pronouncing other languages. And you know what, I can admit that. It's important to know your limitations. Major Luna. Oh, there you go, health up in the corner. So there you go. So as a comparison, 8-Balls, real healthy. Gata not so much. Hexer. So 3 seems to be standard. So there's Major Luna. And speaking of healthy though, Maximus, 7 health. Real slow though, which makes sense, because that was the powered armor dude. Jaltim's shield. Get behind me and implacable. Definitely a tank sort of character. There you go. Back again. I'm gonna show off these as well, in case I missed it. I don't remember. Hexer. That was Maximus. Parvati. Very cool. 3 health. Fast. Submachine guns. Akimbo. Reset and medkit. Maybe I haven't been looking, but I haven't seen a lot of healing abilities. So Parvati might be very useful. Miyamoto Musashi. There you go. 4 health, a little more durable. Ken no Sen. And Kaze Tachinu. Immediately after inflicting, you may displace yourself X space. So I guess that's like an escape action. Very cool. So that's everything for the character cards, for all the cards. So let's put these off to the side. We got a few more components here. A couple dice, always good. Pop these open. There we go. So I'm gonna zoom out a wee bit. So, I don't know if you can, so we have 3 black dice. I think they're hard to see against our black table. I got 3 of these shield tokens, and then 3 blank. Each of the black dice is the same, which would certainly make sense. We got 3 blue dice, double shield, single, so there you go, we'll just do it this way. So that's the one side. I guess the exclamation point is a critical or some such. Star shield blank. Star shield, shield. A lot of symbols. But I certainly imagine that they will all make sense in time. Yellow dice. There we go. this one's got 2 exclamation points. See, now I just want to dive into the rules and figure out what all these things mean. But there's an order, so we'll get there. Here we go, 3 orange dice. Again. And then we got 1 red and 1 green. So I imagine these are probably important. Start with green. Got this symbol. I don't know what that is. Alright, there, I think that's where I was. And on the other side, 2 blanks and a shield. Yeah. And for red, there we go. On the other side. That's all the dice. So let's flip through the reference guide real quick, because I think that'll potentially be. Yeah, you know what? Change my mind, because I am just winging this. I feel like the how to play is probably going to be a little more straightforward in figuring out how to play. So I'm going to clear this space real quick, because I'm making a mess. Alright, there we go. So now I can flip through here. Alright. Underdog token. Is that big Aristeia logo? Barrier or obstacles. Tactics markers. So all the letters were just different counters. Team sticker sheet we saw. Damage tokens. Frag tokens. Oh, the Aristeia tokens are victory point tokens. And the different booklets. Cool. See if we can zoom in a little bit. Ooh. Okay, that should be fine. Alright, 8 models. The green team is Hexer, Maximus, Major Luna, and Parvati. The orange team, Wild Bill, Gata, 8-Ball, and Miyamoto. We have the 14 dice, the initiative cards. So that is what that was. Interesting. So we have the 8 character cards, which we saw. Let's see if we can do a little bit of an example here. So there we go. Got your different attributes. Initiative, speed. So initiative is 6 on here. Speed is 5. Energy 5. And then defense, brawn, and agility are the different stats you have, and then the roll that you would do for that. You have your attacks, and then your anything in orange, I guess, is an automatic skill. And then hit points up there, like we said. Your switch, don't know, figure that out. Oh, I guess if you get the exclamation points. Yeah, okay, so, for example, Miyamoto has the shield icon, so I imagine anytime he gets a shield, he gets to add a hit to your roll against an adjacent target. So if you manage to, I guess if you manage to get that roll on your, or that result on your roll, then you get to do bonus stuff. Neat. Alright, zoom back out. So down here, we have our hexadome. So yeah, so those were the blocked spaces and the barriers you can put down in deployment zones where all the different things there. Oop, too far. There you go. Control panels, infirmary, bench, running order, movement action, round counter, so everyone can keep track together. Alright, so setting up the first game, arrange the scenario. So there's specific scenarios For the first game ever, you'll be using the assault scenario. So I guess the different scenarios are probably listed in the reference guide as well as somewhere in here. Get to build your team. Zoom in a little bit. And then you get to build your tactics deck. Each player has their own tactics deck made up 2 tactics for each character, plus the 10 standards. So you get to, there's a deck building aspect to this. So while you're setting up the game, or presumably beforehand, you have your standard tactics, which we went over earlier, and then each team has their own unique tactics. Put aside, form their initial hands. Okay, so I guess there's no random drawing element to start off before shuffling. Put aside these tactics from their hands, from their decks, will form their initial hands. Interesting. So they give you your opening hand. I imagine there will be some point later where they say, for advanced players, don't do that. But that's the way it is. So, underdog, step 4. To decide which player will begin as the underdog, add up their character initiative values, and then the lowest starts as the underdog. Okay. And then you get to deploy. For your first game, they have the deployment. In the description of each scenario, we'll find specific instructions on how to deploy your characters in the Hexadome. So based on which scenario you're playing, you're going to deploy in different ways, which, makes sense. Alright, cool. Fundamental concepts. Always good to have. Range. Imagine in any sort of hex map that's going to be pretty straightforward. Line of sight. It looks like they do corner to corner. If you can draw an unobstructed line from one vertex to at least 2 vertexes. Okay. So, line of sight is done by 1 vertex to 2 vertexes. And these block line of sight. There you go. Different roles. So, here we have the different die symbols. So, the star, this is success. Shield is a block. These in the brackets here are critical success and blocks. They cannot be canceled in any way, and then the exclamation points are specials. Has no impact on the roll, but might be useful for activating a switch. There you go. So this is probably a better breakdown of the dice than what I managed before, so there you go. I like that they include that. Switches, like we were saying, the special abilities you get. If you get that exclamation point, you can displace the target. Playing the game. Alright, cool. So down here we have planning. Arrange the order in which your characters will act. Place their initiative cards face down. During the round, your characters will activate in that order. So that's interesting. So you don't get to pick. So at the start of each round, you have to pick the order that you want them to go. Yeah, that's interesting. That makes for a lot more tactical pre-planning, which is cool. Turn 1 initiative. Simultaneously reveal their leftmost initiative cards with the highest initiative or the underdog. Okay, so the underdog token is only used to break initiative ties, it looks like. Oh wait, no. Controls the character with the highest initiative or the underdog if both characters are tied. Yeah, okay. Decides which of those characters. Alright, so you get to pick. So if you win initiative, you get to pick who goes. Alright, so move. All characters have access to this action. It's just the cost is 2, so it's 2 energy to move. So for example, Max here, you can see has 5 energy, and the move action requires 2. By performing the move, gives as many move points as their speed attribute. Oop, there we go. cool. This is just going over details of how all that works. 8-ball gains 5 action points at the start of his activation. That is as many as his... So yeah, there you go. You gain that many action points as your energy attribute to do various things. So it looks like this, because they chose your characters for you and your initiative for you for your first turn, they're running through basically the entire first game for you. So they're saying, okay, so Hexer's activation, because in this instance they know that Hexer is your second character to be activated. So I'm just gonna skip through this a little bit, because this is going over just basically how to use all the characters. And not that that's not important, but I feel like there's more to be learned on the game itself. Here we go, for example, states. Some effects may impose certain states. When a character place the state token red side up on that character card. At the end of the character's activation, remove all blue tokens, and then flip... Okay, so each state lasts 2 turns, because you put it on... when imposed, play on the red side, remove all blue tokens, then flip all red to the blue. Okay, so you'll put it on and it'll be red, and then at the end of the turn, you'll flip it so it'll be blue, and then to the end of the next turn, you remove all blue tokens. Some states have different effects depending on which side is showing. Interesting. Okay. So there we go. So, objectives. Probably important. Each player tracks the completion of the objectives and gain victory points. The assault scenario, which seems like the base scenario, has 3 objectives. Being the only player with 1 or more characters inside a scoring zone is 3. Having more characters inside the scoring zone is worth 2, but only if both players have at least 1. So if you control it solely, you get 3. If you're winning the contest of who controls it, you get 2. And if you tie, you both get 1. And then if either player has 8 or more victory points, or if it is the 5th round, the game ends. So the game only lasts 5 rounds, or if you get 8 or more victory points. And then player who gain more victory points are the one who has more frag tokens if there's a tie, so frags are tiebreakers. With the least victory points become the underdog. The underdog changes sides. So I suppose you're going through a couple games, it seems like. Otherwise, the player with the least victory points becomes the... Oh, no, I guess... So the underdog switches back and forth. That's how that works. So recovery. At the end of this phase, characters in the infirmary move to the bench. So I guess if you get fragged, you'll move to the infirmary. And then in the recovery phase, you'll move to the bench and get -2 energy. Then you draw your tactics. If you earned at least 1 victory point, you draw an additional tactic, so winning is useful to help winning more. Conclusion of this phase, first round ends, and the second one begins with a new planning phase. So the planning phase was where you got to place all of your characters, so you get to readjust your order and all that. And here you go, characters on the bench in the infirmary. Yeah, so like I was saying, they have to skip their activation, so being in the infirmary skips that action. And then, yeah, here you go. This is what I was thinking earlier. Custom teams, you can build your own team. Optional rule to draft, very neat. I like that option. And then unveil, and then building your tactics deck if you want to do that. And that's it. That's all the rules. So that's sort of, I think that's everything we went over. There's the reference guide, but I imagine that's probably more of the same, just in a more reference format, because the how to play was very much follow along with us and learn how the game works, versus if you have to look up what dazzled means, you can just do that right here because it's all in alphabetical order. So I think that'll be it for us today. This was dumping out all my components. This was Corvus Belli's Aristeia. Thanks for watching.